Speak up. I can't hear you over that shirt.
Sweet shirt, man.
What's up, Brusty?
Dressed up.
Fresh haircut? Yesterday.
Dekker.
Same here. I get a fresh haircut. I was gonna get it done.
You look good.
Don't worry, we're only on True TV.
What's that?
We're only on True TV. So
True TV. Questions?
This is for Ben and Jared. You guys have been to the Sweet 16 the last 2 years, and I'm just wondering how much value do you guys place on experience, and have you learned something from those couple of years that you can take to get out of the first weekend this year?
I think experiences, it definitely plays a role. Just like any basketball game, I mean, I think just something about the tournament, just the vibe and the feel of it is just something special that you don't really understand until you're a part of it. So I think there's something to be said, for experience. But again, it's just another basketball game, so it's really nothing new. But we're going to look to build on the success we've had the last 2 years and hopefully be able to carry that over and match it and exceed it this year.
yeah, I mean, the older guys have obviously set a precedent. I mean, I didn't have a lot of experience playing my freshman year, but when I was there, I was like, wow, I want to get back here. And then last year, being a part of getting to the Sweet 16 and coming up this much short, something that sticks with you. So you definitely want to get to that point, but then you can't look too far ahead because we got a tough first-round matchup with Mississippi or Ole Miss, and so we're just going to get prepared today for that, but we want to go as far as possible.
Ben, I don't know how much you've seen of Marshall Henderson either on TV or in clips and that, but what sort of problems might he present? Because he looks like even if he's not feeling it that day, he's going to keep shooting, and he looks really good at getting his shots where he wants them.
I think with any proven scorer, they're going to get their shots, and it's our job to make them as tough as possible. And good players make tough shots, but if we can make them take more tough ones than open ones, I think our chances are better. So can't give a guy like that any space. Just got to stay on him the whole time and make him work.
Jared, how would you define the identity of a Beau Ryan coach team?
I think just a team that's going to be consistent, work hard, stick to our defensive principles, play as a team. There's no one individual that is going to have a big ego or try to do too much by themselves. But everyone's just playing for each other, playing for the team. Just going to work hard, persevere. Never get too high or too low, depending on how the season's going or how an individual game is going. But I think we've showed that we're a group that's going to persevere no matter what the adversity is that we're facing, and just try to find a way to grit out some wins, and hopefully we can show that going into the tournament.
Can you describe maybe how you've personally embraced it over the past 4 seasons?
I think just facing just the ups and downs throughout a career. I was younger, not getting a lot of playing time, getting frustrated at times. Just the learning curve that you have to go through as a young player, just trying to improve every day and take in new things and learn from what the coaches are teaching every day and what the older players can pass on down to you, and just trying to consistently and steadily improve. I think I've been a pretty good example of that throughout my career, and like I said, we just want to finish it on a high note here.
Sam, I think after these guys have been through the NCAA tournament, this will be obviously new for you, but I think down in Chicago you were talking about watching this as a kid growing up and eager to get onto this stage. how excited are you about this first chance to get there and contribute for this team?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very exciting time. I mean, March is, obviously one of the most exciting times of the year for any sports fan. And, March Madness is, just a crazy time for all these teams getting in the tournament. And, I can't wait to be a part of it. Like you said, I grew up watching these guys. All of us grew up watching, the players before us go out and win, big games and watch those teams winning championships and hoping that you can be that team one day. And, now we have a chance to go out and hopefully prove the team that we have. And we have a good group of guys that are ready for that task. And, I'm confident we can make a pretty good push here.
Ben and Sam, there might be a little more trash talk in this game than normal. Do you just have to shut out that noise, or do you guys think you generally are pretty good at doing that?
I don't even know how to trash talk. So I think I've learned throughout my years in one ear, out the other, and then just let my play do the talking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much the same way. I'm not the type of guy that is going to trash talk, but if you're talking about Henderson with that, I mean, that's just the type of player he is. It works for him. Some people might not like it, but, it works for him. That's the type of person he is, the type of player he is, and, you got to respect him as a player. So, whatever makes him successful, I mean, works for him. So that's all I got to say about that.
Ben's lying, too. I've seen him talk some mean trash playing Mario Kart. Him and Josh and Mike, Dan, those guys go at it.
Red chilled ya.
Jared, when you hear Coach say, as he said, maybe a little bit over the past week or so, that he'd like to see you try to get more from the seniors, and with you being on them, what's your reaction when you hear that, and what do you think it is you guys need to bring, especially the seniors, to the table this week?
I mean, I think that's kind of how this program has been, at least throughout my years here. It's, primarily been a senior-led group, so it's our time to step up and lead, with me, Mike, and Ryan being the seniors getting a lot of minutes. I think Ryan did a great job of that this past weekend in the tournament. I think he really stepped up his play. I think, I can definitely provide a little more for the team, especially that last game. Didn't have as much of a presence as I'd like to. Just, got to give a lot of credit to Ohio State for that one. They, kind of took me out of my flow a little bit and made things difficult for me. But, it's tournament time now. It's, the last go-around. I think, it's always important for seniors to end on a high note like that. And, we've seen that happen before. I think a good example of that was last year with Rob Wilson. He really stepped up his play down the end of the year. And, hopefully that's something that I can do. And I'm sure Mike and Ryan and Dan and JD feel the same way, however they can contribute. Just trying to end on a high note and, take this season as far as we can.
Ben and Jared, if you guys would, what's your offense has been all over the map this season, good and bad at times. What's your confidence level in the offense, and will there be some relief getting away from the Big Ten teams that know you so well?
Well, I think a lot of the same shots have been there all year, from game one to where we are now. Whether it's up or whether it's down, we know that we need to play defense, because if we're playing defense, we're gonna most likely be in the game, and we can win some games when we're not shooting well and we play defense. So, I mean, that's something we know we have to do looking forward. We got to keep playing the same defense we have all year, and then when the shots are falling, we're a tough team to beat. And like you said, with the Big Ten teams, I think everyone is sick of beating each other up from the Big Ten. I mean, you know every play they're going to run, every player's tendencies, just because you've seen so much tape and you've played against them, and you know a lot of the players from playing when you were younger. So it's fun to play some teams from around the country. And, whether we play Big Ten teams later on, too, that's exciting because, every game we've had has been exciting when we play the Big Ten teams. So it's a fun time of year. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I think he pretty much summed it up there. I mean, I think, confidence-wise, I think we all know what we're capable of. And, you look at like the Michigan game, for example, in the second half where we scored, 51 points in the second half or whatever it was. We know we're definitely capable of it. It would be nice to, be a little more consistent. We've had some of the droughts. obviously. But, like Ben said, that's when you got to rely on your defense, and that's something that, can be much more consistent, and that's something that we're going to bring to the table, every single night. But, yeah, going against some fresh teams in the tournament is something that, I think we definitely look forward to, just a little change of pace, and, it'll be fun.
For Jared and Sam, what do you think, Beau, how would Beau react on a sideline if one of you guys made a shot and did the land shark or did the gator chomp in the middle of a game? What do you think Beau would react to that?
I don't want to know.
If it was slowing us down from getting back on D, there'd be problems. He's let us go. Sam and Frank and some of the guys have got the little 3 thing going. That's about as far as we're going to go, as much as, being flashy in that regard. So we keep it pretty simple, and I think that's the way Coach likes it.
Yeah. Coach has even said a few things to me this year. Like, I think at film, I think it was the Iowa game. I hit a 3, and I kind of just stood there and did something, and Coach was like, here's Sam standing in the corner.
Get back on D, Sam.
Relishing in his shots. And so if I did that stuff, he kind of get on my case. And I think he said something to Frank, too, or someone. He's like, everyone knows how much it counts, Frank. So if we did stuff like he does, like some of the guys do, I don't think Coach would like that as much. But I'll just stick to what I do for now.
For Ben and Jared, I know Josh hasn't been able to play this year, but what kind of role has he taken on this season for you guys, and how have you not made it so he kind of faded away? Because that was one thing that he wondered at the start of the year, whether he'd still be a part of the team.
It was good to have Josh there this weekend. It's just, for me, it's like a reminder of, just of what he brought to this program while he did play. Just a symbol of someone who respected the game and played hard. It's just a reminder that, you gotta do the things that he did to help the teams when he was playing. So for me, it's just, when he's there, just kind of a symbol of that.
Yeah, I think we all kind of want to, do well for him. It sucks having him out, and I think he's still very much a big part of the team. He's still around, every day at practice and lifting and, all the film sessions and things like that. And I think, he's done a good job of, just putting his 2 cents in. You get a little different perspective when you're a little bit removed from things and you have to sit out and watch practice every day. I know there's been times when he's, said things to me like, look at this, this is open there, or, giving some advice to, some of the younger guards with Trey and George and stuff. So I think he's stayed involved, and, just having him around, I think we all want to do well for him and just kind of pick him up that, now that he's been down.
This is for Jared and Ben, and Jared, if you want to go first. For obvious reasons, team doctors don't get a lot of attention on basketball teams, but I'm curious, with all the injuries that have gone on through the course of this season, how much has Henry meant to this program and where you're at today?
Henry's been huge, not just this year, now that we've had, more well-known injuries or more well-documented injuries. He's been there all 5 years for me. I don't know if I'd be standing right now if we didn't have Henry around. I've had so many things that he's helped take care of, and that doesn't get as much appreciation as it should, or as much recognition should. But he's been huge for us, putting in a lot of hours, at the rehab and treatment, taking care of all the little bumps and bruises, and he's as good as they come in terms of athletic trainer, and we're just glad to have him around.
Yeah, Henry's the man. From on the court, off the court, he's someone, he knows you so well. Like if you get a little nick and you're sitting down on the court, he'll already know if it's serious or not, and he knows if you can walk it off. He just knows so much about us, and just a sense of comfort, because I think that translates to, he knows you so well off the court that on the court he knows how to treat you as well. And he's also kind of a guy who's a light at the end of the tunnel sort of thing. Like, going through a couple losses, he'll keep things in perspective for you, and know that he'll tell you, whether it's something little as it's a long season, don't worry, or he's just a good comforting figure.
Mike Bruesewitz has been on a bit of a roller coaster with some of his injury struggles, but now he's been back and had some impactful games. Can you talk a little bit about his perseverance and how he's back to that relentless play that you guys are accustomed to seeing?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge for us as a team. We need his passion, energy, and toughness that he brings to the team. He does all the little things, playing defense. A lot of times he's matched up on the other team's best scorer. Does a great job working defensively, rebounding, taking charges, diving on loose balls. All the little things that, that's really been trademarks of this program over the years that, he really buys into and brings to this team. And he's, like you said, he's had his fair share of, or more than his fair share of injuries and ups and downs throughout the season, but he's just, he's worked hard. And again, a lot of credit to Henry and all the work that he's done with them, and a lot of credit to Mike for, sticking it out and persevering through. But when he's healthy for us and playing at a high level, it makes us so much better as a team.
This is for all you guys. The way Ole Miss plays it's very up-tempo. It's a bit out of control sometimes. I was just wondering, in these first-round games, especially to the older guys like Jared and Ben, how important is it to exert your will and to really try to break some of these lower-seeded teams?
Yeah, I mean, every game is going to be a battle. It does, seeding doesn't really matter once you get into the tournament. Obviously, a lot of people look at it, you're filling out your brackets and whatever. People think, just because we're a higher seed, it by no means that, it's an easy win. So you got to be ready to play. I mean, it's March Madness. You see all the upsets every year, so can't take anything for granted. You just got to come out and we got to come out and play our best 40 minutes of basketball. That's our goal every time we step on the floor. So it's important to exert our will on them and just go out there and get the job done.
I was just going to say, I mean, if you look at this year of college basketball, it's been crazy. And, with that streak of number ones not being able to stay, ranked number one. And you just never know, what's going to happen. And I think that's going to carry over to this tournament. You got to be prepared each game and just take it one by one.
Ben, for you, you've really diversified your offensive game, I think, in the last year. I mean, you kind of came in here as a spot shooter, and now you've got that move where you drive and kind of do that spin jumper thing. How important is that just to have kind of expanded that? And I guess
the chair drill.
Well, just before you answer it, Jared, if you could, after that, just talk about Ben's. He's one of your more active players in terms of cutting through the lane, and how much does that open things up for you guys by him doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think just trying to expand overall. I mean, you try and get better a little bit each time, and whether it be in the off season, in season, you got to learn. And I think that I've gotten away from doing stuff like that, making good decisions like that in the lane. So, better late than never, though. Just trying to do whatever I can offensively to help this team, and if the shot's not falling, finding other ways to help this team. Could be, getting in there or feeding the big guy and letting them do work, or like you said, trying to cut real hard and open up somebody else for a shot. Just trying to do what I can to help.
Yeah, I think going off that, Ben's done a great job of expanding his game, applying a lot of the stuff we do in practice to, becoming a more well-rounded player. But in terms of, his cuts, both Ben and Sam are two of the better guys we have in terms of, drawing help from making hard cuts, runs to the rim. It's something that Coach talks about a lot and, tries to get other guys to, do what they do, more often. So they draw a lot of attention, and it's really important in our offense when, I think when we're struggling, you look at the film and it's when we're kind of standing around and becoming too stagnant on offense. And when we're really thriving and scoring the ball at a high rate, we're getting a lot of guys making hard cuts and moving the ball, moving bodies, and making the defense react to movement, and that frees up more open looks.
Two quick questions for you guys. You guys are all active on social media and Twitter. Most of the guys on the team. Are any of you responsible for getting Ryan Evans to be the last guy on Twitter on the team, or do you know who is?
Yeah.
We've all been doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we've all kind of been joking with him about it. And he's talked about getting it all season long, and I don't know what finally made him pull the trigger and hop on. I think his brother actually made the account for him. I don't know, he's too not too tech savvy to figure that out, I guess. But welcome to Twitter.
And I don't know how much any of you guys read Cosmo, but noticed that they selected Mike Bruesewitz as one of the hottest guys in March Madness. First of all, would you vote for him? Does that surprise you? And what makes him so hot?
Well, that's a shocker, and I'm not going to answer that last part, but I think that's our first major upset of March right there.
I don't know what. I don't know who judges on that stuff, but
I have several sources that were shocked by the decision.
they could have had anyone on this team, but they had to pick Mike. So, I don't know. That's their decision.
Sam and Jared, did you guys just talk about the defense and how important it's going to be in terms of kind of carrying this team through the tournament, given some of the ups and downs you guys have on offense this year?
I mean, that's a staple of this program. You know, like I said, I've said all year long, you know, the shots aren't always going to drop for us, but our defensive effort, you know, can always be there. You know, you don't go cold on defense. You know, it's something you can bring every single night. Just have the right mindset to, you know, to work and, you know, stick to our roles and get it done. I think especially on Friday with a dangerous team like Ole Miss and the scores that they have and, you know, the way they play, they can score with anyone. So it's going to be really important to stick to our defensive rules and try to limit their easy baskets.
Yeah, that's about it. You know, whenever you can make it tough on the other team to score, it obviously gives you a better chance to take leads and, you know, get on runs. And that's something we've been able to do a lot of times this year. But, you know, we haven't really gotten away from our defensive principles all year, besides maybe first few games where we didn't really know how to play with each other. But well, once we figured that out, our defensive pressure and our defensive schemes all seem to fall into place. And I think all of us have gotten better with that. And, you know, Coach puts us in the right spots to win. And, you know, if we follow his system, stuff usually works. And that usually starts on the defensive end, and then it carries over to the offensive end. So, you know, whenever we can do those things, we're gonna be fine. And especially against a team like Ole Miss coming up, you know, we just got to take away their easy looks and, you know, key in on what they do. And that's what we're going to start with today, you know, scouting them and getting ready.
Traevon, you know, everyone talks about Marshall Henderson when you talk about the backcourt, but their point guard has some pretty good numbers and looks to do a pretty good job running their offense. What's going to be the key to denying him, you know, not letting him get comfortable so he can get the ball to the guys that they need to?
Well, honestly, I haven't really got a chance to look at them yet. I'll get a chance to look at them today. But really, I just think it's just sticking to our defensive principles and, you know, playing collectively as a team. You really can't stop guys that are good usually. One-on-one, you just got to have usually help. So just get help from my teammates will be good.
Traevon, I just wanted to get your impressions of what Josh Gosser has done for you this year. I know he hasn't been able to be on the court, and one of the things that he worried about in October was whether he'd still be a part of the team. How much have you talked to him through this season about just little things, and what has he brought to the team despite not being on the court?
He's just an upbeat guy. You know, throughout his whole injury, he never really seen him down throughout the year. He's always in the training room, you know, working hard. And what you take from that is just, you know, continue to work through it. You know, I look at my games where I haven't really played well, and I come back and I see him. You know, you look at it, you be like, you know, it could be a way worse situation. He's still working with no excuses. So just kind of look at how he handles himself. Both of you guys, do you like playing fast-paced teams? Is that kind of fun for Wisconsin to play fast? Usually get them slowed down pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, that's worked for us this year. You know, teams like Minnesota and Indiana and Illinois, those teams that like to play fast-paced in our conference, we've been able to slow them down and, you know, take away their easy looks. And it's kind of fun to get, because you can really see how uncomfortable they are, and you can, you know, they'll even say some stuff, and you know, and they just start missing shots and stuff. So it's fun when you get to take teams, you know, out of their comfort zone and dictate how they play, because that's something we predicate ourselves on, is, you know, influencing the flow of the game and playing at our pace. And whenever we can do that, our chances are much higher.
For Traevon and Sam, if opponents are talking to you and you're slowing them down, can you repeat some of the things they say?
I mean, it's not like they're saying stuff to us, but like to their teammates, you can just tell they're getting frustrated at times, and you know, they'll start bickering at each other about stuff, and that's when you know you're playing good defense, is when they're frustrated even when they get open looks because they're not going in. So, you know, whenever you can frustrate a team and take away easy shots, easy layups, open court, fast breaks, you're going to be in a lot better chance to win.
Different does it feel this year, this NCAA tournament feel compared to last year where you didn't know if you were going to play at all, and I think you maybe gotten a little bit in the Montana game and a little bit in the Syracuse game, but knowing that you have a huge role, I would imagine feels pretty different.
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. I mean, I'm excited for the opportunity. You know, we got to go ahead and try to make a big run, and I'm excited to be a part of this team and this opportunity, and especially for the seniors. You know, this is their last go-around, so it's really exciting.
Traevon, it seems sometimes with the fast break transition teams like Indiana, they struggle to get back on defense from that transition. I think Ole Miss this year is really, Coach Kennedy said they've made a point to try to have their transition defense better. Since the time Coach Ryan's been here, people have really said, well, you guys are a slow-paced team, but you guys scored more transition than Indiana did in your semifinal game. Do you ever get sick of hearing that, and do you think that this team can run in transition with the best of them?
No, I mean, I usually don't listen to what the critics have to say anyway. But we knew coming in we got guys that can run the floor. You know, we got wings that can run the floor. We put more of an emphasis on this year, I think, more than last year since I've been here. And, I mean, why not? If you make good looks, if you have good looks and you make good decisions, then, you know, take advantage of it.
People say in tournament play, matchups are often very critical. What's a good matchup for Wisconsin?
I really couldn't answer that question. I mean, we played against a lot of different teams, you know, within the league. So I think we matched up with, you know, the different teams, you know, whether teams that run the ball, whether teams that slow it down, whether teams that run motion offense. So we just got to be ready for any team. You know, that's the beauty of the tournament. You're not going to play against, you know, the same teams that you've seen all year. So you're going to be playing against different styles, and we just got to be ready to adjust to those.
How important is he to the offense just in terms of, you know, cutting through the lane and backdoor cuts and kind of keeping the flow going?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell him, you know, you're the league when it comes to shooting, you know, just don't worry about it. We're going to keep feeding you the ball. And he kind of makes me mad when he's not as aggressive as he should be, I don't care if he's missing because he's that good of a shooter. And like you said earlier, he's just been really expanding his game. He's always had that. Even in the summer and, you know, open gyms and stuff, fall, he always could play like that. I've been really trying to, you know, encourage him to do that, play more loose, play more aggressive. So.
Anything else for Trey? Just one more. Your offense has been hit and miss this year. What's your confidence level in the offense now? Has it improved, and is it gaining more consistency? And secondly, will it be a bit of a relief to get away from teams that know your every move like the Big Ten does?
Well, I mean, I'm sure they'll know what I like to do and stuff. I mean, I'm sure they'll be scouting, you know, now since this is a one-and-done type of situation. And, I mean, you go through ups and downs, and the biggest thing for me is just always to continue to stay confident, not to really worry about it. Because if you get down, then that's when you start to, you know, have that trickle effect, and every game starts to be bad. So I've always been confident. I continue to be confident because my team has confidence in me. And I have confidence in them as well. So we just got to just keep fighting, and, you know, when we go through tough times and fight through adversity, we'll be okay.